Hi everyone, it is Wendy L. Curry from Wedded Wonderland, and I am here to talk to you about the importance of being part of a network when you are running a wedding business anywhere in the world. I'm going to break down where the wedding industry is at right now and why the importance of network truly matters. Now, of course, we are building our Wedded Network, and I will be referencing that, but I also want to ensure that you understand the importance of what networking actually means. I'm going to get started by talking about how fragmented our industry is and how every single business owner, wherever they are in the world, are generally working in silos. Whilst we all exist on social media platforms, we actually don't really know who we're talking to, what the service provider does that we're engaging with, and whether we can actually create mutually beneficial business together by having a chat on DMs on socials. There are no barriers to entry to work in the wedding industry. Most of us know this. We are in an unregulated market, largely all around the world. Anyone can become a wedding planner tomorrow. Anyone can become a photographer. And many people who actually started in the industry started with a side hustle. They then had to figure out how to build a business off the back of their talents. So we have many incredible people who work in this market, who've worked in event management, teaching, doctors, lawyers, a whole bunch of incredible backgrounds that actually come to the fold that actually create these wedding businesses. In 2025, we can no longer rely on social media to drive all of our business. We need to be considering what referrals actually look like and connections actually look like that can strategically align us with businesses we want to be working with to ensure that we are driving business to each other. So rather than sitting in our own little silos, fragmented, trying to figure out how to connect with each other. Now imagine that you're part of a network that actually exists all the time, online, at your fingertips. This is what we're building. We've recognized that networking and the power of a network is not just getting everyone in the same room, it's about sharing the right information so they know how to strategically network. You need to understand where you sit in the life cycle. So is a couple going to book a violinist before they book the entertainment act, before they book the venue, before they book the location? No. So where do you sit alongside that, and who do you need to be connected with on either side of that life cycle so you are actually ensuring that those strategic connections are going to drive your business? And again, if you don't have those connections locally, how are you going to get them globally? And when you do have them locally and you are considering how you're feeding each other's businesses, what else can you be doing to actually expand your offerings beyond what you're doing right now? And if you want to exist in this market in 2 years' time, you need to understand that not all your work can come from social media. The power of a network and of a referral is integral for your business to exist. So this is what I'll be focusing on today. The importance of a network, the importance of community, connection, collaboration, education, events, and ensuring that you're ahead of the game when it comes to all of this information that needs to be fed your way so your business can not only survive, but thrive in 2025. Like any industry, if you are not continuing to enhance and build your skills, you are going to be left behind. We're talking from a creative perspective, from a technical perspective, and of course, understanding what those who are leading the market are actually doing and how you can learn from the best in continuing to grow the skills that are within your hands and within your reach. Why do we need to continue skill building? Because the consumer is becoming a lot more savvy. They're educated, they search, they know exactly what they're looking for, and they're after the service providers who can deliver that. If you are falling short in one department or another, and that may just be the way that you communicate your skills, that may just be that you need to enhance a particular way that you are shooting or content creating at weddings, or producing, or working in different types of environments. These are all skills that we learn more often than not in the industry on the job as the opportunity comes. But what happens if we actually start building these skills before the opportunity arises and we create the opportunity by talking about the skills that we have? That is what the network wants to deliver. We know that there are so many different disciplines that work within the market, and having current and real-time education is essential to continue skill building in your business to ensure that you are setting the foundations for strategic growth. A lot of people think that everyone is doing so well and everything is so fabulous because all we're seeing on social media is the end result from our competitors. And we're like, oh, they look so busy, they're so fabulous. People don't really know what's happening inside these businesses. And more often than not, because we work with so many businesses across the world, we are acutely aware of the problems which are shared. Working in the wedding industry, which is an emotional purchasing market, is challenging. 85% of businesses are run by people who are generally solopreneurs or entrepreneurs that are building out of family houses and community in their businesses. How do you actually stay ahead of how to manage in a crisis? How to troubleshoot? How to get ahead of what might happen, working in different environments, working with different types of people. These are all of the things that we need to be sharing because knowledge is power. And we will only grow as an industry if we actually share how we overcame some of the obstacles, of which continue to evolve with the types of weddings and events that you guys are hosting. And working with our incredible chapter partners and of course, leaders within the industry, you will get some really interesting insights into how troubleshooting took place more often than not on the day of the wedding. And we need to stay ahead of what those problems can be in order to be able to mitigate them and at least risk manage should they arise in our businesses. Having a support group that actually can hear you out, where you can share, I'm in this predicament, or I have a couple who's asking for this. Has anyone had something similar happen? That is integral because you will be hearing live feedback from people within the industry who can appreciate what you're going through and potentially give you some really wise advice. Any digital business right now, in terms of how it's actually functioning, has to evolve to include AI. And I'm talking about Wedded Wonderland first and foremost, in order to be able to service what couples and businesses are looking at moving forward. You need to be on top of the trends. And I'm not talking about a TikTok. I'm talking about trends from what the consumer is searching for and what they are looking for when it comes to their wedding. How they actually search for you. So we know that Gen Z is now planning weddings through ChatGPT and AI tools. We know that they're no longer using the search functions of Google the way that they used to and of social media the way that they used to. So you have to exist in these channels in order to be found in these channels. Change is the only constant in the wedding and event market. We are now exposed to economic factors, political factors, technological factors, and we need to be ahead of the curve in knowing how this is going to impact our business. And the only way that we can do that is real-time information being shared from all over the world and of course moderated by the Wedded Wonderland team, understanding what changes are taking place, cultural shifts that are taking place, and these nuances that actually really do impact our businesses. This is what our feed within our network is going to be presenting, and we're so excited to give you this live data and information that can change and shift the way that you do business. So I'm going to talk through the key pillars of the network once again, just so we're super clear, all on the same page in terms of what this actually is. First and foremost, the education side and hearing from the best, and I'm not saying a 5-minute YouTube video, a masterclass on the key and important topics, of which we will have 12 masterclasses. Second to that is B2B connections. Within our network, we have a directory where you can personally connect with anyone in our network, anywhere in the world. And guess what? Every single person who has signed on has completely and openly agreed to be collaborative and to be open to providing referrals, ideas, and suggestions and support for anyone in our network. We are also hosting a series of events around the world, launching our network, and our chapter partners are also hosting local events within their region. And our chapter partners really are an extension of Wedded Wonderland. They are our eyes and ears on the ground in 14 different countries so far. So we will be getting you into a room and enabling those face-to-face connections. But of course, it's what happens online thereafter that is important to us in extending those connections and keeping that conversation going. And that's what the network's for. The fourth component is, of course, that live feed. So that fragmented market of not knowing what's going on. This venue just launched, this designer just launched, there's a new catering company. Who is that entertainment group? Oh my goodness, now I need to consider this in my contract. What is this clause? I'm working in Italy. All of this information is going to be curated in a way that is meaningful through our feed. And I think that is really where the gold is, because you will be up to date with what's happening in the wedding industry around the world. And I'm speaking to all of my dear colleagues and friends who are introverts, who don't love the idea of attending events and getting out there. This is your opportunity to be able to connect with people in a way that is comfortable and that aligns with how you like to do business. And of course, for the extroverts, we do have our events, we do have speaking opportunities and all of that. But I think it's so important that we service the entire market in a space that is driven by the intent of building stronger businesses and more resilient businesses and profitable businesses in the wedding industry. And that's what the network is in a nutshell. Success in the wedding industry is not about luck, it is about strategy, and the strategy has to work within a network. If 50% of your business is not coming from referral and from connection and from collaboration, then you are going to be in trouble in a couple of years' time. And here are the reasons why. Social media is something that we cannot depend on. Social media from a marketing perspective is what we refer to as top of funnel. It is an awareness piece to let people know who we are and what we do. But those consumers tend to be the couples. And we know that we work in an industry which once upon a time was referred to as the word of mouth industry. Now, the word of mouth industry exists through referrals and networking today. Those who say majority of my business comes from word of mouth, I'm happy to hear that. How does that word of mouth play out? And will it continue to play out in a traditional context, or does it have to play out within a network and a referral basis? If you want to be getting business on the other side of the world, that person does not know who you are or where you come from or what you do. They may check out your social media, but they don't even know if you're willing to work in their region. So we need to be very considerate of the fact that a network and those connections will drive 50% of your business if you do it the right way. And you want those referrals, which more often than not have a higher conversion rate because someone has literally said, this is the person that you need to work with, rather than 20 inquiries sitting there on Instagram and hoping that one of them converts because everyone's window shopping. You're going to get higher conversion on a referral. You're going to get better business because you're being referred by businesses that you trust and you want to work with. And you're going to get referrals from places and people that may not know that you exist unless they find you through a network. And I'm going to use an example. We had a planner reach out to us from the Middle East who had a couple who wanted to get married in Bali who were from the US. This is very common right now. We have businesses contacting us from point A, the couple are from point B, and they want to get married in point C. And so how does that actually play out in the world of Instagram? How does the planner from the Middle East know who to connect with in Bali for a couple that's from the US? What are the conditions in which they want to be working? Does the planner need to speak English? Have they worked in luxury hotels and venues? Have they planned 3-day events? The network and our directory within the network has enabled us to profile these businesses. Where do you currently work? Where would you like to work? What languages do you speak? What kind of weddings have you done? What kind of weddings would you like to do? Who do you want to be connected with? How do you want to be connected? Why do you want to be connected? All of these things matter. And this is why we are creating a space in which all of these things can happen. And we have our network managers who can facilitate these conversations, but also we're giving the opportunity to connect with each other and actually make something happen. The goal for our Wedded Network is power in numbers. We are planning to have over 1,000 members in 54 countries join our network in 2025 because we know with this and the number of businesses that work in the luxury culture and destination market, only magic can happen. Connecting to tourism boards, venues, and to each other in referrals, in, of course, knowledge sharing and communication and understanding of what's happening in the market today is, for me, priceless. Those who are looking to expand their business, to accelerate their growth, to really understand what opportunities are out there for them and understand what's happening in different markets, the network has been purpose-built for you. After traveling to 13 countries last year and meeting with over 10,000 vendors, there is really a very important and critical part that is missing in the wedding industry today, and that is a B2B strategy around referrals and networking. That's why we've created this product. That's why we are facilitating this. That's why we're hosting events and launches all around the world, because we want you to get to know each other and drive business to each other for better businesses, stronger businesses, more resilient and more profitable businesses in 2025. We look forward to networking with you. Let's get started.